Hi friends! Welcome to another episode of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nadir Atani. This is episode 16 and today is August 2nd, 2017. I'm coming to you from my home in Central Florida and thank you all for being here today. If you are a returning viewer, thanks so much for coming back. I'm really enjoying the community building that is happening on the interwebs. If you are a new viewer, thank you so much for coming and checking me out. Really appreciate it. Leave me comments down below, interact, have a ball. Today I have a few things to show you. I have some yarn that I'm super excited about. Some finished objects, works in progress, some needle adjacent projects that I guess they would be hook adjacent projects to be completely correct. But let's just get into it. We will start out with my finished objects, and let me grab my notes. Look, I tried to be fancy with my notes this time. My hand lettering sucks. I need to work on it. But that's not what this show is about. So, finished objects. I have 2 pair of socks that are finished this week. One of them is vanilla. The other one is a pattern that I designed. Ooh. Let's start with the pattern that I designed because that one was finished first. And last episode, these were a hoe, so I have finished object. And these are my Camp Hawthorne socks. And there's a pair. Doop. I am currently in the process of actually writing the pattern and trying to figure out that end of the designing world. I'm very proud of myself for this sock. This sock pattern. I will be even more proud of myself when I actually write it up. I think I'm like kind of apprehensive about writing up a pattern because I don't know, I have this weird feeling that nobody's going to understand what I'm talking about. I mean, I've written up multiple crochet patterns for myself. Like when I'm making something up or whatever, I'll write my notes out and I write in the abbreviations and everything. And, you know, other people have come and they'll look over my shoulder at my notebook and think that I'm like casting spells. So, I don't know, I have this kind of apprehension for actually writing a pattern and putting it out there for people to make. I've decided that it's not going to be a paid pattern. It's my first one. Got to throw it out there. Got to test out the waters, see if I am any good at this. So yeah, once I finish writing up the pattern, I may not even do like test knitters or ask anybody to follow the pattern and see if it makes sense. Probably should. That's neither here nor there. That's actually right here. I don't know. I'm feeling kind of like right now, so just bear with me. It's because I'm so excited about these. Kalisha, focus, get it together. Huh. I wore these to work last week and they're very comfy. I did one sock on 60 stitches and the other on 64 so that I could compare the sizing. And at first I thought that I liked the 64 stitch sock better, but as the day wore on, the 60 stitch sock like kept its shape to my foot. Like I've noticed over the socks that I've made, all except for I think one have been on 64 stitches, and I noticed they get kind of baggy around my ankles, and the same thing happens with this. I think this is the 64 stitch one actually. Yeah, I think so. But this one, it got a little baggy around this part of my ankle. So I think I'm just going to go back to the 60 stitch for myself. The pattern, when I write it up, I will include the numbers for the 60 stitch and the 64 stitch. There's really not that big a difference. Yeah. I'm very happy with the toe because a bit ago I mentioned how the rounded toe pattern that I was using, which originally was from the Rose City Rollers sock. That was the first sock I ever knit with a rounded toe, and I like that toe. I like how it fits. So I just kept using that toe, but I found as I knit more socks that the toe was very short. So I wanted to lengthen the toe. And this, ladies and gents, is my lengthened toe. And because I just wore them, it's still kind of shaped to my foot. And like, you can see how my toes slope to the side. So I might look into actually shaping the toe that way. Maybe, maybe not. So yeah, Camp Hawthorne socks. Camp Hawthorne socks. Done. Just got to weave in those ends. But I'm very proud of myself for this. I think that's everything I wanted to say about these. Oh, I knit them on 2.25 millimeter Chalgu red lace needles, as is customary. And the yarn is, it is Deborah Norville Serenity Sock Weight, I think it's what it's called. If that's not right, I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. But yeah, I got this yarn from Joann's with a coupon. Pro tip, y'all. So that is my first finished object. The next finished object that I have for you guys are, I don't even know if these were started on my last episode. I don't think so. But these are my lollipop socks. Here they are. The main yarn is Barocco socks. Yep, Barocco socks in the lollipop colorway. The toe and cuff are hand dyed by me. And yeah. This yarn originally was the white yarn of the Deborah Norville Serenity Sock Weight. So I just went, and pretty much whenever Joann's sends out those 60% coupons, like I get one from my email, one from the app on my phone, one from the website, and there's another one somewhere. But I'll go in there with like 4 60% off coupons, and I'll just buy a couple balls of the white yarn to stash away for whenever I want to have a dye party. But these, as you can see, they're really baggy. These were on 60 stitch or 64 stitches, so I really might go down. But these are pretty awesome. I enjoyed knitting these. There's the foot, which I have determined that the length for a vanilla sock for me is between 75 and 80 stitches after my rounded toe. So rounded toe, 75 to 80 stitches depending on the thickness of the yarn. I like doing the short row wrap and turn heel, and I've gone down to 10 live stitches back here. And then the leg, however many rounds I want to do. This one has, I think it's at 70. Yeah, this one has 70 rows. And then I was only able to do, I think, 15 rows of the 2x2 rib. And 2x2 rib is my favorite ribbing because I just love the way it looks. And then Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind-Off. I got it right that time, guys. So yeah, that is the toe. And these I did I do these toe up? Am I lying? Am I lying right now? Yes, I did these toe up. I don't even know why I had such a hard time with that just now. I did these toe up. I started them 2 at a time. I got probably this far and was like, nah, bruh, I don't like 2 at a time. So I split them. But this is the thing that I love the most about these socks. I knit them from one ball, one from the inside and one from the outside. And I got the yarn as a prize from Mars of, she's not Brownberry Chronicles anymore, Mars of the Hey Brownberry podcast. A bit ago, she had a Make Whips Not Waste make along, and she did random prize like pop-up giveaways, and I won one, and this was the yarn that was in it. Now, I just started these socks because I was like, I want to do something super colorful after the Hawthorne socks. So I pulled these out of my stash and I said, you're getting cast on. And this happened. Y'all, I could not have planned this. Wait. The thick blue stripes line up. How cool is that? Yay! So when I realized that that was happening, I was like, these socks are the best thing ever. And then this little section was making me super happy because these are my 3 favorite colors. And then when I got to this last big blue stripe, I decided that that's where I wanted to end the sock, which is why the leg only goes to like 70 stitches or 70 rounds. Normally I like them to be a bit longer than that, maybe like to 80. Yeah. So these make me very happy. They are quite itchy. My other pair of Barocco socks don't itch this much. Maybe because I actually blocked that other pair. I haven't blocked these. I just like finished knitting them, put them in my box of socks, and then a couple days ago was like, I'm gonna wear these socks. And my feet were itching all day. So, and even just holding it right there on my chest is itching. So these need to get a soak in something. But I love the colors. I love the socks. I love my little yellow orange hand dye party. These socks make me happy. So that's another pair from my box of socks. I don't know how many socks I'm up to. I might be halfway, but I believe in myself. I believe that I'll be able to get 12 pairs of socks from my box this year because I have an obscene amount of sock yarn now. And if I don't knit 12 socks in a year, I'm going to be on punishment. And if you don't know, the box of socks is a knit along hosted by Kristen of the Yarngasm podcast and Vine Yarns, where you knit 12 pair of socks for yourself, and you're supposed to put them in a box and not wear them and then have 12 fresh pair of socks for the new year. But I just want to wear all the pretty socks that I make because I have a thing for socks. And if I make a sock, I want to wear it. I don't want to show it off. I don't want to be like, hey, you like my socks? Yeah? I made them with my own 2 hands. These are the things I want to do. So yeah, those are my 2 knitting finished objects. I have, okay, let me show you this finished object. Oh, before I move on, this is how much yarn was left out of the mini that I dyed for and used for those socks. That's it. I ended up having to, like, I was knitting along, and when I got to the cuff, I was like, okay, I'm going to put these back on 2 at a time. And I wound what I had left on my ball winder so that I could pull from the inside and the outside. And I'm knitting. And I got to like 15 rows, like I knit 15 rows. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do the bind off. I bound off the front of the stitches and was like, we're not going to make it. So, actually, no. I didn't bind off the front. I got to where I was supposed to start the bind off. And I looked at it and I was like, we're not going to make it around. So, I had to tink back a whole row on 2 at a time needles or 2 at a time socks, and then bind off both pair. And I was stressed out the whole time. And then just to have this little bit left, I don't even know what I can do with this, but it just makes me so happy because I love this color. So yeah, now to my other finished object. I'll just let that marinate there. So I finished this, or I did this like maybe 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago. I finished this is my hand spun for for the spindle. What is it? Spin for All 2017 and the Spindle Along. Spin for All 2017 is a spin along that was happening. I don't remember the dates. I'll put everything down at the bottom like I do. But it was with Arrow Knits, the Anxious Knitter podcast, and Wool Needles Hands. Why was that so hard? I don't know. And then the Spindle Along, which I will put the details, was hosted by the Piper Nail podcast. Nailed it. But this is the hand spun that I finished for those alongs. I spun it on my drop spindle and then plied it, and then I knit a swatch. So my first idea was just to put it like on a black background in a frame, because in my head it looked really awesome and artsy. But when I put it on the black background in the frame, it looks stupid. So I was like, this is dumb. I don't like this at all. And I had a smaller frame, but the swatch ended up being the same size as the frame, so I didn't like that either. So I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. So I was looking at it, and on like the crafting space that I have in the dining room, I have a mug with a bunch of pens and markers and stuff in it. And in there I had a chalk marker. So I looked at it, I said, this looks like a chalkboard. I'm just gonna write a bunch of things having to do with knitting on it. And I was like, I'll do some fancy lettering. And of course that in my head looked really awesome. This is not how it looked in my head. But we've already established that my hand lettering needs work. One of these days I'll perfect it. But yeah, so I just started writing little words all around, having to do with knitting. I almost put crochet terminology in there, but then I realized that it pisses me off when people think that I'm knitting when I'm crocheting. So I was like, let me not do that. Let me not mix the languages. So yeah. And I like it so much more now. I think I need to move this up a bit though, because it is coming down. I think the adhesive I used glue dots. I'm gonna have to take this off and like hot glue it so that it's like there. But I love it. So yeah, finished project. And this is going to go on my wall when I have a craft room, like on the other side of the floor to ceiling shelves of books and yarn. A girl can dream, can't she? And the last finished objects that I have are kind of finished objects stashquisitions. That's what we're going to call them. So earlier I mentioned how I go into Joann's and I just buy white, like the natural color yarn, like natural colored sock yarn whenever I have coupons, just in case I want to have a dye day. I had a dye day. I had a couple dye days actually. So this past Saturday night, when we got home from church, I don't know why I decided I wanted to dye yarn, but I was like, I want to dye some yarn. And Lamar, my husband, was sitting on the couch watching TV, and I was like, hey, you want to dye some yarn with me? And he was like, what would I have to do? And I was like, just put the color on the yarn. That's it. And he was like, okay. So I had pulled up this picture of a nebula, a picture from the Hubble telescope, and I'll see if I can insert a picture of it. But that was like the idea that I had in my head for this yarn. Didn't come out like that at all. I'm gonna get enough of having these ideas in my head and trying to make them come to life, because the last few ideas that I've had in my head just didn't materialize well. But I love the final product, so there's that. So Lamar paints, and he also teaches math. So he has this very technical, specific, precise approach to art. Whereas me, I'm just like, just throw it in there. So it was very interesting to see his approach to dyeing the yarn and my approach to dyeing the yarn when we're both dyeing the same skein of yarn. And in hindsight, this could have gone terribly wrong, but I'm going to chalk it up as a testament to our relationship. And I'll show you what we did. We actually dyed, like I had two 50-gram balls that I wound into hanks, and I put them both in the same pot, and we dyed them all together. And this is what we came up with. Don't mind all of my strings keeping things together. Look at all those different colors. I'm so proud of this. Oh, there's a little bit of Kiva. So when we finished, it was a lot brighter than this. And the picture that we were going off of course, since they're like, it's like nebulas out in space, there's a lot of black. So I overdyed, or not overdyed, I kind of space dyed half of each of the hanks with some black dye, so that there would be darker spots and then lighter spots. And this section right here is like Lamar's favorite, because that was where one of the strings was tied, so it didn't get as much dye in there. But yes, so I'm gonna knit socks out of these, and I'm so like, I love these so much. And then it just makes it even better that this is something that Lamar and I did together. Yay. And then I had another skein that I had already wound up that night. So I was like, I want to try like some other kind of method. It's not even really a method with me. It's literally like what feels right at this present moment with these colors, where they're going to end up. So if I were to ever start like dyeing yarn, I would be like, these are one-hit wonders. Nothing is repeatable. But this is the second skein that I did. And this one I love less, but I do really enjoy it. I think it might end up going back into the dye pot with more teal. I think that's what it wants. Yep. This will be great if it has sparkle in it. So this was this past Saturday night's dye experiment. And then last night when I got home, I was like, I want to dye some more yarn. Actually, no, that's not true. Last night when I got home, I was watching Caitlin of the Wool Jewel podcast. Yes, Wool Jewel podcast. And she was wearing her pinguono. And the yarn that was around the collar of the pinguono was this green. And when I tell you guys, this particular green color has been like haunting me low-key. It was in Caitlin's sweater. Meg of Bad Whiff Girl Sits and Knits is currently knitting a sweater out of the same kind of green. Like, it just kept popping up. So I was like, okay, all right, I can do that. I'm going to make that yarn. So I like wound up some more yarn out of my stash. And I set out to make this yarn. And I think I got pretty close. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ah! I don't know what that was. I'm sorry, guys. This definitely looks brighter on the screen. That's why I just lost my mind a little bit. I just love it so much. The only part of this that made me feel like meh was these dark green spots that I put in. But this right here is the color that has been haunting me. Like that grassy yellow green. We're gonna turn it this way, because oh my word, can I have like a sweater's worth of this? Like if I had a sweater's quantity of bare yarn and I knew I could do this again, hands down, I would do it. I would put everything in a pot right now and dye up this yarn. But as I said, I'm a one-hit wonder kind of gal. So I'm glad that I decided to do the whole 50-gram ball of this. And after I finished that, I had some leftover dyes. I use the Rit fabric dye. Get it from Joann's with a coupon, as you do. So after I finished this, I had I had split up a ball into minis. And I dyed some other tonals. And I love tonals. I didn't realize. No, that's not true. Every time I see an indie dyer and they're like, oh, these are all my speckles and my like variegated and all this other fancy things with all these different colors and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's pretty. Let them mess around and do a tonal. I'm like, oh. That is where my heart is. So I did this little trio. They really should go this way because they're supposed to be 20 grams. This one came out, I think it's like 23. This one is 20. And then this one was left over, so it's like a 10. So this particular blue has been speaking to me lately. And then I always love yellow, and I've mentioned before, these are my wedding colors. I tried to tell myself I was doing something different and special and just dyeing. I was doing one at a time, you know, just going with what colors were like calling out to me, like from my collection. And then when I went and hung up the colors, like hung up the yarn to dry, I realized that I had dyed my wedding colors again. This is my wheelhouse, guys. If ever you wonder, what color would Kalisha like in something? One of these. One of these. This is Kalisha right here. But What I think I'm going to do with this little collection, I want to knit, this is about to get real nerdy real fast. I want to knit a pair of pie socks, meaning the stripe sequence is the numbers of pi. 3.14, blah, 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 blah. But the stripes on the leg will be the numbers of pi. And I think I wrote it out to, I want to say it was 15 or 20 digits, and it added up to 80, which was perfect because I like 80 rows on the leg of my sock. So I'm considering using these and doing the striping in the pie sequence for the socks, but I don't know what I'm going to do for the rest of the sock. I just have the leg done. So I want to knit a pair of pie socks, and I also want to knit a Fibonacci sequence sock. I love numbers sometimes, guys. I do. But for the Fibonacci sequence, I would go up to 8. So it would be 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and then backwards, like 8, 5, 3, 2, 1, 1. I can't believe I just did that without stumbling. So it will go up to 8 and then back to 1, and then up to 8 and then back to 1. And I think that would be enough for the leg of my sock. And then again, I don't know what I do with the foot. So I think that's what this is going to be. I don't know. I just may want to look at this one. And then little mini. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited with my dye experiments. Guys. Yay! We had fun in the dye pots. Yay! So yeah. That's all my finished objects, guys. I have one work in progress that I want to show you, and I have my progress on spinning. I'll show you my spinning first because that's within reach. And my tea's going cold. I must confess, this fiber here, this is my euphoric fibers. I started spinning it. This was supposed to be my sith and spin. But I have spun. I have not sithed. We still have the videos from the library. So actually, after I film this, I'm going to go and I'm going to watch part of Star Wars. You heard it here. Feel free to comment down below and be like, hey, Kalisha, how much of Star Wars did you watch? Keep me accountable. But, guys, this is how this yarn or this fiber is spinning up. It is such a joy to spin. And look how thin that is. I'm like spinning like a boss. Spinning like I know what I'm doing. Oops. Oh, there we go. I'm spinning like I know what I'm doing. This is amazing. This is what happens when you have like good quality fiber and it's not something that you found at the thrift store in a dream catcher. Quality, guys. Quality. But this is merino, nylon, and bamboo, non-superwash, and it's amazing. Like, this is why people love spinning, because they spin stuff like this. With the other fiber, I felt like I was fighting it when I was drafting. This, it's like baby hairs. Just, aside from the fact that it does get everywhere and my hands, like, it sticks to my hands and stuff. especially in this Florida humidity. And my spindle is doing a good job. It's hanging in there with me. I do need to, I think it has a weighting issue, like a weight issue, because when I spin it, it dances. But I'll figure that out. It works like I want it to. So I'm going to see how much fiber I can get on here, like how much singles I can get on here. And then like start applying it. I have no idea what this is going to be. I have no idea. I would love to make a shawl out of this. Again, lofty dreams. I don't think I can spin a shawl's amount of yarn. However, I do have this much left. I'll just be spinning forever. Like, this will be a shawl for my birthday in February. That'll work. So yeah, that is my spinning progress. It's definitely making me want to go buy more fiber. And I also want a spinning wheel. Yep. I'm going to own a spinning wheel one day, guys. When I have my craft room with my art on the wall and my floor to ceiling shelves of books and yarn, there will be a fiber section with a nice little spinning wheel off to the side and a big comfy chair covered with crochet blankets and pillows on the floor and a candle that smells beautiful and a big window. My next work in progress. I don't know why I'm doing so much house dreaming right now. This is my next work in progress in my Constellations bag by Quirky Monday Crafts. These are my favorite color socks. Part of them is a stash position also. And I also have a hoe with this. Where's my blocker? Oh, it's over there. So these socks I started a little bit ago, actually. I want to say it was like last week. I started these socks. I had a rough last week, so I may talk a little bit about that at the end. But I started these socks because I needed something that made me feel good. So I went to my feel good colors. The main yarn is Summer Squash by DJ Fleesh Hand Knits. DJ Fleesh Knits. I'll put it at the bottom. But yeah, that's that. And then the green contrast for the heels, cuffs, and toes is Knit Pick Stroll in the Sour Apple colorway. And this makes my heart so happy. So happy. Like I can't wait for the other sock to be finished. I'm just gonna wear them like all the time. So here's the progress I have on the other sock. Let me not get everything tangled. We're down to like little bits. Whoop! So I've got the whole foot done, the heel, and I'm about halfway up the leg. Am I? Yeah, about halfway up the leg. And it's been such a pleasure just going around. Now, one of the things that I experienced with these socks is the DJ Fleece yarn was a 50 gram ball, well, a 50 gram skein. And I wanted to make, the socks, but I also didn't want to run out. So I was like, I took to Instagram and I put up a question to all my knitter friends. How many grams of yarn do you use for a pair of socks? And I kind of expected, maybe like 2 or 3 people to respond. But I got so many responses, and it just made me feel like, man, crafty people really stick together. And people are always saying on their podcast, like, knitting friends are the best friends. I'm like, true story. But I would extend it to crafty friends, you know. But I got so much information that I was able to kind of like gauge an average amount of, like, an average usage, and then based on like my foot size and blah blah blah. So I figured I'll be able to knit both of the socks. If I put in contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs, I'll be able to knit pretty good lengthed socks. Now, let me put this away. All right, so I started these cuff down, and I got maybe this far in, and I was like, I'm gonna run out of yarn. I'm gonna run out of yarn. So I ripped it back and I restarted it toe up. And I felt so much more comfortable knowing that if somehow I ran out of yarn, like right here, or like if I got to half of my yarn by right here, I knew that I was going to have the foot finished, and then, you know, the leg would be whatever. So the fun thing about this was, after I ripped it out, I didn't rip out the cuff. So I just had like this little green cuff swimming around in my project bag. And when I got back up to the cuff, I just kind of knit the new cuff from the old cuff, like sock length style. And it was a pretty cool experiment because I wanted to know, I did the German twisted cast on when I had gone top down, and bottom up I do Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. And I wanted to know if they took similar amounts of yarn, because I was still a little bit nervous that I was going to run out of yarn because of the bind off or something like that. And I am happy to report, I don't know when in life you would need to know this, but Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off and the German twisted cast on takes similar amounts of yarn, because I had pretty much the same amount of tail left. It was like maybe like this much more left. So I thought that was really cool. There's a random piece of knowledge for you. Log that away. So yeah, I'm so happy that I ripped it out and I went back toe up. It just took so much of the anxiety out of these socks. Like, the amount of anxiety I was feeling because of these socks was stupid. I was like, Kalisha, don't do yourself like that. Just rip them out, knit them toe up, keep on going with your life. And after I did that, I got to the heel, and I did something silly with the heel. Like, I miscounted, or I wrapped some stitch that wasn't supposed to be wrapped, but the numbers were off. And I was like, well, I'll just rip it out. So I ripped out the whole heel. Like, I have become quite the frogger. And I'm okay with that. And that makes me feel very good. Like, I can frog a project or a part of a project that's not making me happy in order to redo it to the point where I'm satisfied. Yeah, so that is my last work in progress. So technically I only have like one work in progress that I'm working on right now. Like, actively. I have other things that I've started, but they haven't seen the light of day in a month of Sundays. So next we'll talk about my needle and hook adjacent projects. So I am gonna make a taco pillow. Let me show you. You can kind of see that. I'm gonna make a taco pillow. Why am I making a taco pillow, you ask? Because I have a friend who loves tacos. And to the point where we'll be like, oh, you know, what do we want to go and eat, after church? Tacos. What are we doing tonight? Let's go get tacos. Like, I see anything with a taco on it, I'm like, hey, I should get that for her. Or there was this sweatshirt at Forever 21 that said, I don't care, I'm getting tacos, and I almost bought it. I should have bought it. But I was scrolling through Ravelry one day and I came across this taco pillow, and it was a free pattern, and I was like, I'm totally gonna make this. So I have all of the colors I need in my stash. And yeah, I told her I was making her a taco pillow, and she was so excited. So I'm very excited to do this for her. I might make her two, because I feel like you never just get one taco. You never just have one pillow. Logic dictates you must have 2 taco pillows. Multiple taco pillows will be made. The next needle adjacent project is going to be made from this yarn. Now this yarn, I got it from Hobby Lobby. A couple weeks ago I went into Hobby Lobby, and they had like clearanced out a whole bunch of sock yarn, and I kind of stocked up. And yesterday I went into Hobby Lobby looking for a specific kind of washi tape, and you can't go into a craft store and not pass by the yarn section. That would be a travesty. So I went, and in the clearance section there was even more sock yarn. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, okay, are they getting rid of their sock yarn? Because they clearanced out every brand they had. Hobby Lobby is clearancing out all their sock yarn. So I went to see, like, okay, well, is a new brand coming in the store? What are we doing? And it's not a new brand because it's still Patton's Croy, but they've gotten all these new colorways. And this colorway is called Eclipse Stripes. Now, why is this so awesome, and why am I super excited about this project? Coming up on August 21st is a total eclipse. I want to see it. I'm so excited about it. I'm going to knit eclipse socks. The main color is going to be the eclipse stripe. The heels, toes, and cuffs are going to be this yellow, because the sun is going to be eclipsed. I know that was so corny, and I don't care. I'm so crunk about these socks, I can't handle it. But yeah, so there's going to be a solar eclipse, a total eclipse. If you are in any way interested in like space and things that happen very, very infrequently and like once in a lifetime events, Google and see where you are along the path of totality. Let's just take a moment and just think about the fact that there is a path of totality going across the United States where people will be able to see the sun completely eclipsed by the moon on August 21st. I have to be there. Part of me, like, I've been joking that when I get to see the total eclipse, I will get powers like in Heroes. But deep down inside, 5-year-old Kalisha is like, yeah! Superpowers! I'm sorry, guys. I've lost my mind in this episode so many times, it's ridiculous. But, yeah, so I'm going to be making eclipse socks. They're probably going to be shorties because I think I'm just going to use one ball. I'm probably lying to myself. I am probably going to go buy another ball of this so that I can have like full length socks with my heels, cuffs, and toes. I'm so excited. I might start these like tomorrow so that I can have them done by the eclipse. And then I can wear my eclipse socks on eclipse day. This might happen, guys. This might happen. So yeah, that's really everything I wanted to talk about in needle adjacent projects. The last two sections I have are stashquisitions and a bit of chit chat. So, Knit Picks had a sale. I've only ordered from Knit Picks one time, and that's because they had like a clearance on grab bags, and you can pay like $10 and get like a surprise bag of yarn, which I haven't used any of that yarn yet. Shame on me. But Knit Picks did a huge sale a couple weeks ago, and I put a bunch of stuff in my cart, and then I kept going back and looking at it, and I would like take things out, and I would look at it again, and I put something in, and I look at it again, and I take things out, and then I had a really, really bad day, and I was like, you know what, Kalisha, you go buy that yarn. Provided by this time I only had like maybe $24 worth of yarn in it, and that was like including shipping. So yeah, I bought yarn from Knit Picks. I already showed you the sour apple, which here it is in the ball. I love this green. Low-key, I want a sweater in this color. I think this will be super cool as a sweater, but it's like the perfect neon, like it's like a quiet neon green. And I like it a lot. So I got that. What is that? Stroll? Yeah. And then I got 3 balls of Stroll. Is it Glimmer? Yeah, Stroll Glimmer. I got white because I'm gonna dye it. Can you see any of that glimmer? No? Oh, there's a little bit. There's a little bit right there. But I got the Stroll Glimmer in white, and I got the Stroll Glimmer in peacock. Because like I said, guys, this color also has been speaking to me. It's been calling me. So I got these. These would make a really nice like winter sock. I might not dye one of these. There's no plan. We fly by the seat of our pants here at Quirky Monday. And then I also got this color. Are we surprised? Are we surprised at all? Not at all. This is Knit Picks Gloss Fingering in Honey. And I got 2 of these because I think this will make a really nice shawl. I'm kind of thinking, and I'll have to check the yardage requirements, but the limeberry shawl, because that's on my list of shawls to make. And I had originally pulled aside this green yarn for it, but I feel like it wants to be this color. I don't know. That's everything except for one last thing that I wanted to show. I entered a giveaway. Where's my notebook? I entered a giveaway a few weeks ago, and I won the giveaway from Fiber for the People from Taylor of the Wool Needles Hands podcast. Like, before I show you like what she sent or what I won for the giveaway, I just want to comment. Her branding is awesome. It's pretty amazing. And so I kept her stuff here. She sent me a little note, or a little card. And look at her business card, guys. Just beautiful. just, it's so aesthetically pleasing. Like I could just look at it. But because I'm a little bit of a paper craft, I won't say hoarder, paper craft keeper of things, I pulled the sticker off of the envelope that she sent the prize in, and I kept it. So I have her lovely card, her business card, and the postcard that came. It's so pretty. Just everything is just spot on. Go ahead with your bad self, Taylor. So there was some tea, which I haven't drank yet because I'm like, oh, I have to save this tea for a special occasion. And then there was a bag of these pins, like these safety pins, the ones shaped like that. And then there was the yarn. It is her colorway oil spill on her, is it Haute, Oat, or Hot? Somebody help me out. But on that base, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% silk, dye date June 2017. And this is the yarn. Oh my word. Now, this is completely outside of my color world. Does that make sense? You know, as you saw before, I'm really drawn to like citrusy colors and like those warm tones, except for the green. But like citrus colors are my wheelhouse. But this is like, this is really, yeah. This is the complement to my color sense, which I'm just now realizing. Interesting. So let me unrobe it, disrobe it. I can't with words today. And the twist on this is really awesome. So I don't know what this is going to grow up to be. But whatever it's going to be, it's going to be beautiful. And so thank you so much to Taylor for hosting that giveaway. It was a giveaway as thanks for the support type dealio. And yeah. I have some fiber for the people. I feel fancy now. So yeah, that is the last Stashquisition that I have. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of my bubble. Leave a comment down below of something that brought you joy this week, and let's spread that positivity and that love. I am going to go watch Star Wars. I may not get through the whole movie, but I am going to sip and spin today. You heard it here. Keep me accountable. Peace.
So this is Kalisha's husband, Lamar. Online, I'm also Lemmy Shadow. Follow me on all my social media stuff, LEMESHADOW. And we just got home from church and found a package on the steps, and she's really excited. So are the girls. See, everybody's here really excited and stuff. Well, this one's just excited. She just wants to play. But Kia's excited. But Mommy is excited because she has a new package from Germany. So she's going to open it up. I think she already ripped some tape off, but we're going to go ahead and open it up and do an on-camera reveal.
Dun, 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 dun. Happy mail. Dun, 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 dun. Happy female. That's a little weird. I'm just gonna. So many things. Okay, we have a pin, a knitting girl, and a ball of yarn.
With a personal letter on it.
Oh.
We're gonna keep it personal though.
Okay. And then there is a, oh, this is really pretty. A project bag.
Ooh.
I like these colors. This is, ooh, and there's a pocket in here. Get out of here. Y'all fancy.
Drawstring.
Oh, I don't know how to say this. Oh, that's in my face. That's right there.
Stinixa knits.
Yeah. Stinixa. Knits.com. I'll put it in the down bar. There's that. And then we got a custom dyed skein of yarn. Oh, I'm so excited. My package came from Caitlin of the Wool Drill podcast from Germany, and she sent me these awesome things, and I got mail from overseas, and I feel fancy. But she was doing custom dyed yarn for this particular prize package, and I sent her a picture of my dogs to see if she could do something. You're gonna make people seasick. This is my first time having a cameraman, and it's kind of interesting.
But it's not a camera.
Anyway.
I'm doing the best I can.
I'm leaving that in. I'm not even gonna edit that out.
I'm sure you are.
Anyway, so I sent her a picture of my dogs to see if she could do something that was like inspired by them.
Hey doggies, come here. Come here, Kiva.
Oh.
Come here, Kiva.
So we've got some
Say hi, Kiva.
browns.
It's Kiva.
You guys know Kiva and Toots. We've got some browns, some blacks, some like golden tans. Do you like it? Yeah?
Come here, Tootie.
Tootie, come see. Oh, okay. I don't want your dog furs in them though. Yay! We got yarn. Tootie, you gonna tell them about it? No? Okay.
No, she doesn't want to be on camera.
And a bag. And a pin. Huzzah! And then we got a note. Okay, I will read this note later. And then another little package. Oh, snap. We got snacks and things. What's this?
Is it German chocolate in there? It is. I want it.
Yes? Cacao is chocolate, right?
Yeah. German
She
chocolate
sent
is so
two.
good.
So I can have one and you can have one.
Yay.
Chocolate. Chocolate.
German chocolate is awesome. The teacher that taught German when I worked at ESFL. Make this about me for a moment. I used to work at the Academy for Science and Foreign Language in Huntsville, Alabama, where we taught 5 different foreign languages, I believe, and one of them was German. And the German teacher there used to bring German chocolate, authentic German chocolate for the kids every year, and it is amazing. So I'm eating it all.
He's not eating it all. He's eating one because the other one is mine. Because
I'm eating it all.
I did the work. If you knit something, I will let you eat all of this one. Do you want to knit some stitches on my sock?
I'm painting her a painting, so.
Y'all see how he just tried to take over everything? This is the choice I made with my life.
This is the choice she made with her life. An awesome choice, I must say.
Thank you so much to Caitlin for all of these awesome goodies. I also got some tea, which will be going with me to work and going in my tea tin. I'm so excited. Kiva, I'm so excited. Are you so excited? Yes?
Tail wagging.
Stop twerking at the camera. you fast tail.
Tail wagging excitement.
And then the tail stopped.
It's okay, Kiva.
Bye, guys.